On the screen with me right now is the one and only Jeff Goodman. Jeffrey, how are you doing on this?
I was debating. I got a new hat, Rob. I was debating whether to wear this today for all the Michigan fans. But I'm going to wait. I've been a little hot with the Alabama hat, so the Michigan hat.
You cannot switch that Alabama hat out until you
don't do it. You know the drill. Like, you don't ever switch a good hat when you've got it rolling. And I've got it back. I've got my mojo, but not like you do. I mean, you got
it. Man, 11-1 the last 3 days, 3-0 last night. It's been nice. It's been nice for the old bank account, nice little bump. All right, so we have a lot to talk to today. We're not going to bullshit at all. We're just going to dive right into it. Yeah. There is one game that I love. It's without a doubt my favorite bet of the day, and we're going to get into that. But first and foremost, we have 3 undefeated teams, the 3 best teams in the country, most likely, according to probably consensus opinion, all playing on the road. So, Goodman, where do you want to start? You said you love Gonzaga in this spot, right?
I really like
St. Marys. Yeah, they're laying 15.5, and the total is, I believe, 147. I'll check right now.
In case you're wondering, Rob, Gonzaga.
I am wondering. I am definitely wondering.
The Zags have won every game they've played by a lot of points, first of all. They've scored 85 in every single game they've played. That's ridiculous. So last year against St. Mary's, when St. Mary's had a really good team, right? They had Jordan Ford. They had Malik Fitz. They had a really good team. They beat him by 30 in Moraga. They beat him 90-60. They beat him in the West Coast Conference tournament by 18. The spread today is 15.5. St. Mary's best player is Tommy Kusi, who's a former walk-on, who I basically had to convince Randy Bennett to give him a scholarship. I tweeted it. I told him, I'm like, how do you not give this kid a scholarship? He's a great player. He is a great player. But they're 9-4. They're 0-2 in the league. They just lost to BYU. And the other part of this is there's not a lot of love lost between Mark Few and Randy Bennett. And I don't know if people realize that. But I think if Mark Few has a chance to run this shit up, he's going to run this shit up. So I'm going to take Gonzaga, lay the 15.5, and say that, again, and Moraga is a great home court advantage when it's full. It's a little gym. It's a high school gym is really what it is. And they're not going to have that home court advantage. And really, it didn't matter last year anyway because they got blown out by 30. So I think this St. Mary's team isn't very good, number one. This Gonzaga team is elite level, number 2. There's no fans, and the coaches don't really love each other. How's that?
Yes. Yeah, I love the logic. I think I lean Gonzaga in this spot as well. They run everybody off the court, and they're going to have such an overwhelming athleticism advantage against St. Mary's, and they'll be able to match up, with the spread style that St. Mary's likes to play. The only concern that I do have is that Gonzaga is not the best ball screen defense, and what St. Mary's does is they run ball screen after ball screen after ball. It's the reason we were on BYU the other night against St. Mary's is because BYU has the big guys to be able to take away those ball screens and take away the posts. Drew Timme, for everything that he does, is not his strength right now is not defense and not defending ball screens. So I do think that St. Mary's will be able to score, which is why I kind of like the over a little bit more in this spot. But I think that either way that you go, it's either got to be Gonzaga or you got to bet the over. I don't think that you could take either other one. It's kind of pick your poison there.
Do you know what worries me more?
I like them. I like them both.
Rob, you know what worries me more about Gonzaga? In their ball screen defense, Tommy Kusi trying to guard Jalen Suggs.
Yeah. No, I know. It's right? A problem.
Just a little bit of a problem. Just a little bit of a problem. I mean, come on, man. This is just going to be unfair.
No, you're right. And I like I said, I'm not saying don't bet Gonzaga. I'm saying the over is also really, really interesting. There's a very real chance to me that the final score of this game ends up being 95-75. And I know that St. Mary's is going to try to slow it down. And they're going to try to take the air out of the ball. But, I mean, we saw what happened when Virginia tried to slow the game down against Gonzaga. That shit just does not work.
No, not when you're down 20. When you're down 20, then you got to change your whole team.
Yep. And the last point that I'll make is that we've seen Gonzaga kind of have a little bit of a slow start against Pepperdine over the weekend at home. part of that is just like at some point motivation is going to become a factor. Like they looked like they were bored in the first half against Pepperdine.
Yeah.
They came out in the second half and they just blew them out of the water. So I think that playing against a rival on the road, Gonzaga is not going to come out looking bored. I think that they're going to be motivated in this one. So, and that's half the battle. All right. Yeah. So we're both on Gonzaga. We're both on the over. I'm probably going to bet both of those as well. All right. Next game, Baylor, number 2 team in the country, on the road at Texas Tech. This line right now, it's all the way up to Baylor -5. And let me check on the total, but go ahead. What do you like here, Jeffrey?
I'm going to take the money line. I'm going to go by my motto of in Beard I trust, and just roll the dice a little bit here. You know, like I don't know if I love it, but it's plus 175, and I just am going to say in Lubbock, Texas Tech's got a little momentum after that Texas win. Baylor's been feeling itself. I mean, who's the best team Baylor's played? I don't have it right in front of me this second, but like
I have the schedule right here.
I mean, really, who has Baylor played? They've played TCU, not very good. Oklahoma at home, at Iowa State, Alcorn State, Central Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kansas State, Stephen F. They haven't played.
There it is. Oh, don't stop. Keep going.
Well, Washington and Louisiana Lafayette, they played one.
Okay, you skipped the team that they blew out of the water. That's like a top 10 team.
Illinois. Yeah. No, I'm not saying you haven't beaten anybody. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Baylor's not a great team. What I'm saying is right now, they're going for the last since December 2nd, Rob. That's a long time. That's a month and a half. They haven't played a tournament team. Okay, I'm just going to say that, like, I think and Texas Tech's played some teams lately. They played Texas, and they found a way to win. I don't know. I just feel like it's worth the value to take Texas Tech at home and Chris Beard at home when you're getting either 5 points or the money line plus 175. I'm taking the money line. And Mac McClung has been way better lately, way better in terms of his floor game. Again, I don't love it, but that's what I like. If I'm going to do anything on this, I'm going to take Texas Tech and just roll the dice on it.
All right, so I just brought it back up and refreshed my app that I use, who will not be named until they pay us to name them. Yeah. And it's down to 4, and the money line is now plus 148. Your logic makes sense. I don't love it because I feel like this is a little bit of a sell high spot on Texas Tech, the same way that I thought it was a sell high spot on Texas heading into that game against Texas Tech on what was that, Wednesday? Every single day is exactly the same. I don't know what day is what. But I don't think Texas Tech played all that well against the Longhorns. I think that Texas they made some mistakes down the stretch. Texas Tech played really, really well in like the last 5 or 6 minutes to come back and win at the same time that Texas kind of did the things that we expected Texas to do last season. So to me, this is a little bit of a sell high spot. I think that the value is a little bit inflated, and Baylor to me is just they have their matchup with Texas Tech. Like they basically both do the same thing. So I think I lean towards Baylor in the spot, especially if the line's going to keep coming down. Like if it's -4 now, if that comes down a little bit more, then I think that they're like eventually it's kind of got to be Baylor. But the other thing is like they both want to do the same thing. They both play that no middle defense. They both want to really just overwhelm your backcourt. And at the end of the day, the team that has the better guards is the Baylor Bears. So I think I do like Baylor in this spot a little bit, but it's kind of, I don't know, I'm a little worried about it. I also like the under. I think that both of these teams are really gonna mess with each other defensively, and so it's a tough spot. I don't know if I'm going to bet either of these personally. So okay. It's a weird spot. All right, let's keep it moving. Yep. We have Michigan on the road at Minnesota, who they just beat by 25 at home the other day. How do you feel about this one, Jeffrey?
I have no feel on it. I mean, I don't think Michigan loses. And it's only 6. Mm-hmm. And every time I've gone against Michigan, I kind of paid the piper with it. So I think it would be a dumb move for me to take Minnesota in this one. I'm going to stay away completely. Do you have any feel on this?
Yeah, I actually think I like Minnesota here. The KenPom has it at 4. The line is 6, which means there's a little bit of value based on the metrics on Minnesota. I think that eventually Marcus Carr is going to have another good game at some point.
Yeah,
and if he is, it might as well be at home against the team that just beat him by 25 and embarrassed him the other day. The other part of it is that I think that you have to rely on Gabe Kalsher and Booth Gotch and Leon Robbins. Those guys have to be able to step up and make plays. Brandon Johnson, like if they're not making shots and they're not able to make sure that the floor is spaced for Marcus Carr to have room to operate, then there's just no chance. And playing at home, coming off of a couple of road games in a row, I think that this is kind of like a get right spot for Minnesota, especially because it's the second time in what, like 2 weeks that they've been playing Michigan. So there's going to be no surprises, right? And again, like the last 2 games that Minnesota played, at Michigan, at Iowa, they've lost 3 of their last 4, at Wisconsin, at Michigan, at Iowa. And they've been a much, much better team at home. So I like Minnesota in this spot. That's I think I like the underdog here.
Okay. What else? So those are the top 3 teams.
All right. So can we get into my favorite bet of the day? No questions asked.
Your favorite bet of the day. I wish I could guess it.
We've been texting about it. It should be obvious.
Oh yeah.
I tease it on the last stream.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know if I love it as much as you do. I love go with you on this one.
So Auburn -2 is easily my favorite bet of the day. I love the over. It's already climbed from 139 to 145.5. I'm still going to be on it. Well, I don't have to because I've already bet way too much money on it as is. So I'm not going to put any more down. But I just love them in the spot. I love the team total over 73 or so, whatever you can get it at right now. And the reason for it is just the presence of Sharife Cooper, man. I don't think that it has been properly valued what he provides Auburn, especially not in the metrics, right? Especially not in like KenPom and T rank and all of these other metrics that some of the Vegas lines use to kind of guide what their projections are. And we've talked about this, right? Auburn has finishers up and down their roster. What they've been missing this entire time was a guy that could create the plays and create the opportunities for those finishers to finish, whether it's guys knocking down threes, JT Thor catching lobs, whatever it is. Sharife Cooper is that guy. And we can't overlook the fact that he's averaging 27 and 10 in 2 games. Alabama's Alabama and Georgia is whatever, but it's still 27 and 10 in his first 2 games playing in the SEC. And he's going up against Devin Askew and Davion Mintz and a backcourt that I don't think we can really trust in Kentucky. So I love Auburn in this spot. I love the over. I love the team total over. If you could parlay all 3 of those things together, do it.
Total over.
I haven't checked.
74.5 is what I'm seeing it right now.
Still love it. Yeah, I would take that in a second. I think that this game is going to end up being like 90 to 75.
All right. So I'm with you here. I mean, I think, listen, Cooper, with him, they're averaging 92.5 points. Without him, they're averaging 74.4. He's been terrific. He changes the tempo. He changes everything they do. He actually also changes JT Thor to me.
Yes.
Now, I'm not sure if Powell's playing or not, right? I mean, that's a little bit of an issue, but I think he's right now, from what I'm told, he's a game time decision. The question is going to be, can Kentucky, do they try to run with them? Do they try to play fast? Do they try to grind it out? Can they make shots? Or is this a game where Kentucky ends up in the 60s? That's my only worry, I guess.
If they do end up in the 60s, I don't, that Alabama put up 85 of them and they covered the total easily. I think that Kentucky will, because the way that you have to, if you want to be able to play slow against a team that wants to speed you up and wants to press and wants to try to force turnovers, is you have to have great guard play. You have to have a point guard that can kind of control tempo.
Yep.
And Devin Askew probably will be that guy in like a year or 2, right? But I don't think that he's necessarily it right now. So that's part of my reason why. And
Auburn doesn't guard.
That's the other part about it.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. If you're Kentucky, you should be able to score against this Auburn team. All right, so that is your favorite one of the day. What's my favorite one? I told you I've put in a lot already. I will say my favorite one of the day will be Furman over East Tennessee State. Furman is given 9 points. East Tennessee State is coming off a pause. I think Furman's damn good. East Tennessee State lost their entire team basically from last year. Their best returning player, Jeremy Good, opted out this year. It's transfers. It's a new coach, Jason Shea. So, yes, Furman is other than Gonzaga. Those are my two favorite picks of the day.
That is so on brand for you. I love it. I love it, man.
I got more. There's more where that came from. I'll rattle them off.
All right, so let's you can rattle them off, but first let's spend about like 5 or 6 minutes just going through the other big games of the day, and just I'll just go down the list on Ken Pom in terms of what their thrill score is for this. So Ohio State at Illinois. That he's projecting how exciting the game will be based off of how good the teams are and how close they are, so that he can rank them. Like when you go click on it, is Kevin? We're about to talk about Illinois State, Illinois, Ohio State right now. So,
have you met Ken? Do you think his thrills are the same thing as your thrills?
I do not want to know about Ken's thrills. I do not want to know about Ken's thrills.
Kenny has the same thrills that you have.
I do not want to know about Ken's thrills. Ohio State is getting 6.5 points at Illinois. They'll be without Jimmy Sotos and CJ Walker. Goodman, is there any reason whatsoever to consider betting on Ohio State in this spot?
Zero. That's actually probably my third favorite line of the day. I took it already. Illinois minus 6.5. Like, who's going to run the team? Number one, Justice Suing. I mean, seriously, who's gonna play the point now? And who the hell is going to guard Io? And oh, by the way, not only who's going to guard Io at the point, but who's going to guard Kofi down low, because they don't have any length. They've got no bigger fan than me of EJ Liddell. I love him, absolutely love him. But they don't have that long, athletic dude. They've got big, bulky dudes that aren't as big as Kofi.
Yeah, the biggest issue to me is that without CJ Walker, without Jimmy Sotos, like I don't know where all the ball screen stuff is going to come into play. Like we've talked about it ad nauseum. That like you get the Illinois is the most matchup dependent team in the country. When you have a team that can take advantage of Kofi and ball screens, then you want to bet against Illinois, and when you don't, then you want to bet on Illinois. And Ohio State without CJ Walker, without Jimmy Sotos, like I don't know where that is going to come into play. So yes, I like Illinois in that spot. All right, Arkansas at Alabama. Alabama's a little bit banged up. Jordan Bruner's not going to play. Herb Jones is a game time decision. Alabama's laying 2. The total is 161.5. What do you like there, Jeffrey?
Well, here's the problem. For me, it's a different team without Jordan Bruner. Just a different team. Like, it's not to say I don't like Alabama here. They're only given 2 against Arkansas at home. I do like them. I also don't know if Herb Jones is going to play.
I'm not as worried about it.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I was thinking of going the over, and then I'm thinking to myself, well, like with Herb, it matters. It matters whether Herb plays. He's going to affect the over or the under because he's one of the best defensive players in the country. And if he gets out there and can't really score, he's a liability on that end. So I'm not touching the over under on that at all. Arkansas is still without Justin Smith. We forget that. Like, he was one of their better front court players. So is it a wash? No, I don't know if it's a wash.
I think it is. So the reason why I like Alabama in this spot is one, Herb Jones played a game last season where he had to play lefty because he had a broken right wrist. He's a right-hander, and he played lefty with a broken right wrist. So if you were going to ask me whether or not Herb Jones is going to play, I will ask you, can Herb Jones walk?
Right. I agree
Can
with
he
you.
walk? Can he run up and down the floor? Like,
I love him.
is his heart still beating? If
Yeah.
his heart is still beating, then I expect Herb Jones to be on the floor. Okay.
I love Herb.
The other part of it is that, like, you're 100% right about Jordan Bruner, but I don't think that Arkansas is the team to take advantage of that. Simply because, like, their center is Connor Vanover, and Connor Vanover, like, is a 7'3" center that all it wants to do is stand out there and jack up a bunch of threes. So I get it there. I just don't think Arkansas is a team that can take advantage of it. I think that losing Justin Smith is much more significant or not having him is significant. Now, the one thing I will say is that I think Arkansas is a good buy low spot in theory because of what happened at LSU last week. Like, they're going to be motivated, but I think that's already baked into the price and baked into the line that you're paying for, because based off of Ken Palm's projections and some of the other metrics, there's value. Like, that, the Arkansas is already getting less than what they should be based off of some of those projections. So I think that's baked.
I would go Alabama. I would
Mm-hmm.
go Alabama here if gun to my head. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I just don't. I'm not touching it. Like Michigan, Minnesota. I'm not ready for that.
All right, I hear you.
All right,
Virginia at Clemson.
Can we hit on two more real quick?
Yeah, can we do Virginia at Clemson and then North Carolina at Florida State?
That's where we're going next. Virginia, Clemson, another tough one. I've told everybody, Virginia, their resume sucks. It absolutely sucks so far. They've beaten nobody. They haven't really played anybody. Now, again, they had a pause. I get it. Clemson has been awesome. They've been the best team in the ACC so far this year, but they're just coming off a pause, right? They had 3 or 4 days. They weren't able to do anything. Then they had a day they were able to do like 1-on-0 stuff. Then they were able to do individuals. So they've kind of ramped it up a little bit. It's at Clemson. I am taking the Virginia Cavs here. I'm taking Tony Bennett in Virginia here. I don't love it, but it's where I would go based on the fact that I think Clemson is at its peak right now. And to me, Virginia, you're catching them not low, but given 2 against Clemson. If you had told anybody that at the beginning of the year, they would have put the house down on that, wouldn't they?
Yeah, Clemson. So the line's already moved 4 points. That it opened at Clemson minus 2.5 in some spots, and it's already up to Clemson plus 1.5. So I hear what you're saying. I cannot back a Virginia team that has the issues they have scoring against Clemson, who is the best defensive team in college basketball this year. They are. They're the best defensive team in college basketball, and I can't do it. So for me, it's you either take the value on Clemson on like the money line. Right now they're plus 114 at home on the money line, or you stay away. Like, I cannot back Virginia in the spot. So I think I'm probably going to end up being on Clemson and talk myself into it. All right, the other game in the ACC, North Carolina at Florida State. That line has moved to Florida State minus 4.5. Goodman, do you have any feel there? Because I think I do.
No, not really. I mean, Florida State's coming off an unbelievable offensive performance, efficiency-wise. I don't love it. No, I don't have a great feel on this one. I'm staying away.
So I think that Florida State is the pretty clear play here.
Why?
Just
Scotty
because
Barnes is banged up, just so you know.
Yeah, I know, but it's still, you have all of these like long athletic dudes for Florida State that can really just wreak havoc on the defensive end, and kind of like force turnovers. And what they do is they make you have to beat them in isolation, right? And I don't think that that North Carolina necessarily has the guards to be able to do that. Like the whole idea of the Florida State defense is to not let you run what you want to run offensively. And North Carolina doesn't have the guys to be able to take advantage of a team that is going to make you do that. Like Caleb Love, he ain't ready. RJ Davis, he ain't ready. Like Leaky Black hit a couple game winners, but their games were like they shouldn't have been in the spot. And the last thing I'll say is that like North Carolina's record actually looks really good, but they've had like 3 last-second wins this year. Leaky Black's had 2 game winners, and Andrew Platek's got a game winner. So, and those are against teams that they probably, in theory, shouldn't be in games like that against. So, I guess my question is like, is Scotty Barnes playing, or is he just like he's a little banged up?
Yeah, I don't know where that's at right now. I'm not sure. All right, can I run through some of my favorite mid and low picks right now?
Yeah, do it.
All right, I'm going to rattle through them. I'm going to just rattle through them. First, we're going to start with the going against teams that have paused. Okay, I got a bunch of those, probably half dozen or more. All right, so we'll start with UNH. I'm in the middle of something. Close the door. What are you doing?
All right. While Goodman's dealing with this, I'll talk a little bit about Louisville. Louisville minus 3.5. It looks like. Are they playing Miami? Is that what it is?
Yes. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm going to rattle through these. All right. My daughter walking in the middle. She knows too what we're doing. That's the worst part. All right. UNH, Stony Brook. I'll take UNH. Stony Brook's been in a pause. James Madison against Towson. JMU. Towson's played 3 games in like third game in the last like 50 days or something crazy. Take Navy in Lafayette. Navy's going against American. American hasn't yet to play a game, and they were on a pause. Lafayette playing Loyola. Loyola yet to play a game, on a pause. We talked about Furman. Coastal Carolina playing Georgia State. Georgia State take the 7.5 for Coastal Carolina. Georgia State coming off a pause. Mercer given 6.5 against Western Carolina. Western Carolina coming off a pause. And what else we got? Arkansas Little Rock. I lost on them yesterday. Take them. I like Arizona State. I like Murray State. I like Liberty. I like Wright State. And that's it.
So I just want to touch real quick on the Louisville thing. I love Louisville. I think they're one of the more undervalued teams in college basketball this year, but I don't want to fade Miami right now. Miami's so tough. They're playing so well. I have not seen official word on Chris Likes or Cam McGusty on whether or not they're playing. Last I saw the game, they're a game time decision. So they're a game time decision. You broke up there, Goodman, so I don't know what you said, but last I saw was they are a game time decision.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
That's right.
Louisville is a stay away from me. The last one that I really do like is I can't get a line on it yet because it's not available at the book that I use. But I really like Kansas State team total under, assuming it is somewhere around the 57 mark for what their projected point total would be. That's just because I think Texas is going to be really pissed off about the way things ended against Texas Tech. I think that is. The Kansas State's bad. Texas has length and athletes and old dudes and veterans and can really, really, really guard when they want to. So I really like them at home. The Kansas State team total under 57 if you can get it anywhere. So just to go over really quick, the bets that I have is Auburn -2, Auburn, Kentucky over 143. I have the Auburn team total over 74, whatever. I think it's 73.5 right now. I have Alabama -2. I have Minnesota +6. I took Gonzaga. No, I'm sorry. I got the Gonzaga-Saint Marys over, the Texas or the Kansas State team total under, Illinois -6.5, and Florida State -4.5.
All right. I don't even know how to run through everything. Honestly, for me, it's. I'll try to do it quick here. Illinois.
You know what? How about this? Instead of running through it all, we're going to upload it all onto BetSperts. So download the BetSperts app. That's BETSPERTS, the BetSperts app, and we're going to upload all our picks into there. That's the best way to do this because you have 30 bets today, dude. You can't list every one of your 30 bets.
I know. Listen. I'm trying to help people here with inside info on teams that have been paused and at least give them as much as we possibly can. I'm not saying you got to do them all. All I'm saying is here's the info. You do with it what you want. I'm going to give it to you. And a lot of, again, if you go to BetSperts, the other thing today on a Saturday like this, we'll be getting injury info throughout the day.
Yep, and we'll be updating stuff. So make sure you follow us there. That's the best way to get immediate real-time information on what bets that we are putting in. All right, Jeffrey, go take care of your family, man.
I got in trouble. I'm going to get in trouble. I don't want to leave. I have no desire to leave right there. I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to get yelled at for something. I have no idea what it is. No.
There you go. Well, maybe you should be a better family man, better father, better husband.